Let's go. Once Fuyu has left the cabin, I make my presence known. I walk straight over to Mirari and kneel, kneel down in front of her, bringing my face to her level as she sits on the couch and quietly sobs. Sorry guys. Sorry.
Self-voicing enabled. Mirari, Nijama Springfield, you. How long were you? Nijama Springfield, long enough. Nijama Springfield, sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop. Mirari, no. It is nothing you need to apologize for. Mirari, this is your home. You have a right to hear any conversations which take place within these walls. Mirari straightens her back and looks at me as she talks, but soon begins to slouch forward.
Sorry guys. Sorry guys.
Mirari straightens her back and looks at me as she talks, but soon begins to slouch forward. Even if my presence is a welcome distraction, it isn't enough to make her forget about her worries. Nijama Springfield, so, that fight you and Fuyu just had? Mirari, it was not a fight. Mirari speaks forcefully as she shakes her head. Self-voicing disabled.
We were simply reaffirming one another positions. That conversation was long overdue.
Self-voicing enabled. Nijama Springfield, I see. Nijama Springfield, do your conversations normally end with Fuyu hitting you? Mirari immediately opens her mouth to deny my claim, but instead finds herself without words. Whether she cares to admit it or not, Mirari's conversation with Fuyu didn't end well. Mirari, ... so you saw that. Nijama Springfield, I could have heard it from outside. Nijama Springfield, why didn't you defend yourself? Having a difference of opinion is one thing, but getting physical is a bit much, even for Fuyu. Mirari, no. You're wrong. Mirari, even if Fuyu had left lacerations all across my face, it still wouldn't be anywhere near enough to punish me for what I've done. Nijama Springfield, you mean, for running away from home? Nijama Springfield, if so, then I still think this is all rather extreme. Even if Fuyu's mad about you leaving her behind, that's no reason to get physical. Nijama Springfield, besides, you shouldn't have to go along with what everyone else expects you to do just because you don't want to let them down. Nijama Springfield, nobody gets to tell you how to live. You have to make your own life decisions. even if other people don't agree with them. And boy, will they disagree with you. My ears are still ringing from the chiding I got when I announced that I'd be moving out here. Mirari, thank you for your kind words, Nichama Springfield, but I'm afraid my situation isn't so simple. Mirari, and of all the people affected by my decision, Fuyu is the one person to whom I'll never be able to speak about this matter on equal ground. Mirari lets out a soft sigh, then looks up at my face. Mirari, do you remember how I told you about Fuyu being the runt, and her family going to great lengths in order to rejoin the pack after raising her all on their own? Mirari, the way I see it, Fuyu's family have already gone through so much because of my parents. Mirari, they were forced to choose between the pack and their only daughter. They were exiled, and then they were made servile upon their return. Mirari, despite being treated so poorly, Fuyu's family have abided by the laws of the pack every step of the way. Mirari, they worked harder than any other members of the pack. They're willing to do anything to ensure its survival, and not once have they spoken ill of my parents. Mirari, and yet... Mirari casts her gaze downward once more as she begins to grasp at the hem of her dress. Mirari, those people, who were once exiled, have done everything in their power to make our pack what it is today. Mirari, on the other hand, I, the daughter of the current and previous pack leaders, want nothing more than to leave it all behind. Mirari, everything they've been through, everything they've endured, it was all for something I now want to discard. Mirari, when I think about it like that, I can't even begin to imagine how Fuyu must feel. Mirari, for someone like me, who has been handed everything in life, to willingly throw away everything that she and her family have worked so hard to protect. Mirari, if I were in Fuyu's place, the mere slap wouldn't even begin to convey my ire. Mirari fights back tears as her hands begin to tremble. Despite her resolution to leave the pack, she understands all too well what her departure will mean for those left behind. She feels guilty for putting her own happiness first. She feels guilty for putting her own happiness first. Nichama Springfield, it's a difficult situation to be in, but believe it or not, I understand your feelings better than you think. Mirari, and my feelings. Mirari, no, but Fuyu is the one. Mirari stops mid-sentence as I suddenly sit beside her and place my hand over hers. Nichama Springfield, Mirari, you're a good friend for thinking about Fuyu's feelings to this degree. Nichama Springfield, there are plenty of people in this world who would have just left their friends and family behind, without giving it a second thought. Nichama Springfield, in that regard, you've already done right by Fuyu. Nichama Springfield, but you know, even if you're worried about how Fuyu feels, you can't let her happiness trample all over your own. Nichama Springfield, nothing good will come from you forcing yourself to take over for your parents. Nichama Springfield, you won't be happy, the pack won't be happy, and Fuyu definitely won't be happy. Nichama Springfield, right now, you're probably thinking that caving into their demands would be the easiest way to make everything turn out okay. Nichama Springfield, you're thinking that if you just gave up on your own dreams and stopped being selfish, then everybody would be happy. Nichama Springfield, ... but you know, reality is never that kind. Mirari peers up at my face silently as I continue to speak. Even if she can't bring herself to agree with everything that I'm saying, she's at least willing to hear me out until the end. Nichama Springfield, Mirari, do you know why I live out here? Nichama Springfield, all alone, in the middle of nowhere, far away from the nearest human settlement. Mirari, If I recall correctly, you said previously that it's because you don't get along well with others. Nishama Springfield, that's the short version of it. Yeah. But the truth is, it's a bit more complicated than that. Nishama Springfield, see, before I moved out here, I was in a situation similar to yours. Nishama Springfield, not as far as being the princess and becoming a pack leader are concerned, but in terms of my parents' deaths and legacy. Nishama Springfield, my parents always wanted me to take over the family business. As their eldest son, they just naturally assumed that I would follow in their footsteps. Nishama Springfield, they trained me up, made me work for them part-time throughout high school and college, and tried to micromanage every aspect of my life. Nishama Springfield, I'd made it well into my teens without a single shred of enjoyment or free time to have to myself. My life was lived all according to their whims. Nishama Springfield, but when the time came for me to take over, as directed in their will, I finally realized something: what they wanted me to do didn't matter, and they couldn't make me do their bidding anymore. Nishama Springfield, my parents are dead. Anything I do or don't do doesn't matter to them in the slightest. Nishama Springfield, the only person whose life my decisions will shape is my own. And if I'm going to live my life, I'm doing it my way. Nishama Springfield, coming to that conclusion, I sold the family business, despite the protests of my relatives, and got the hell out of there as quickly as I could. Nishama Springfield, I moved out here, away from everyone and everything, and despite the hardships of living out here, I can honestly say that I've never been happier. Nishama Springfield, for the first time in my life, I'm free. Nishama Springfield, my decisions are my own, my schedule is my own, and there's nobody around to tell me what I can or can't do.
Sorry guys.
I take a deep breath as I finally finish talking. Talking about myself at length has tired me out, but going by the smile on Mirari's lips, it seems to have had the desired effect. Mirari, that's an amazing story, Nishama Springfield. Mirari, I don't quite understand everything you said, but from what I gathered, our situations are actually quite similar. Mirari, and while it may be insensitive of me to say this, in light of your family situation, I'm glad to hear that we are alike. Mirari leans on my shoulder, resting more and more of her body weight on me as she continues to settle down. Rather than respond to my story verbally, or bring up her talk with Fuyu once more, Mirari seems content to simply sit beside me, resting on my arm. And for the time being, I'm happy to do the same. I realize that her problems won't vanish after a single talk. Her relationship with Fuyu won't magically become less complicated, and the matter of leading their pack isn't going to resolve itself. But for now, as long as it's just the two of us sitting here side by side, those matters all seem light problems for another day. Once Fuyu has returned to the cabin, it takes no time at all for the two wolf girls to make up. With Mirari taking the lead, both girls are soon in tears, apologizing to one another and wishing to make amends. I watch on in relief, glad to see the dear friends on good terms once more. Maybe the fight wasn't as bad as it sounded. Either that or this isn't the first time they've had that particular fight. Whatever the case, I'm glad those two are getting along again. Mirari, Nishama Springfield, I look down as Mirari leaves to use side and suddenly addresses me. Nishama Springfield, yes, Mirari. Mirari, I just wanted to thank you one more time. Nishama Springfield, thank me. For what? Nishama Springfield, I didn't do anything. You two made it all on your own. Mirari shakes her head. Mirari, not that. Or perhaps I should say, not just that. Mirari, Nishama Springfield, you've done so much for us, all without asking for a thing in return. Mirari, that got me thinking. Maybe there's something we can do for you after all. Nishama Springfield, oh, okay then. Nishama Springfield, I thought cooking and cleaning already counted as a pretty nice thank you, but what do you have in mind? Mirari and Fu-Yu look at one another, then nod in agreement. Fu-Yu, you'll see soon enough. Fu-Yu, grab a thick coat. We'd hate to have you freeze to death on the way over. Dressed in a thick coat, I follow the girls outside and head down the path they previously attempted to take home. From the moment we leave the cabin, Mirari is smiling from ear to ear. Even Fu-Yu can't completely contain her excitement. Wherever we're going, it must be somewhere pretty special. Nishama Springfield, huff, huff. How much further? Mirari, it isn't far now, Nishama Springfield. Just hang in there a little while longer. Fu-Yu, yeah, don't collapse on us now. What kind of man are you? Nishama Springfield, one who's already spent enough time outside today. Fu-Yu, HMPH. If you have the energy to retort, you should be fine. Mirari, don't worry, it really is only a short walk from here. Mirari, any second now we'll be able to. Mirari, ah, there it is. Mirari jumps up and down on the spot while pointing towards the mountain. I strain my eyes to see what she's so excited about, but all I can see is a hole in the side of the mountain. Nishama Springfield, what is it? A cave. Fu-Yu, not just any cave. Mirari, yes. It is what can be found inside of the cave that matters. Nishama Springfield, inside of the cave. Nishama Springfield, you'd better not be leading me into a bear's den or something. Mirari, of course not. Don't be silly, Nishama Springfield. Fu-Yu, yeah. The bears are all hibernating this time of year anyway. Fu-Yu, so even if we wanted to get rid of you, luring you into a bear's den would be a poor way to do it. Nishama Springfield, ... It worries me that you seem to have given this some thought. Despite my apprehension, I follow the wolf girls to the mouth of the cave. After spending a short time walking through the cave, the temperature begins to rise to the point where I feel comfortable taking my coat off. Finally, as we near the cave's innermost point, I understand what it is the girls wanted to show me. Self-voicing disabled. Self-voicing enabled. Nichama Springfield, what are you doing, sneaking around like that? Mirari, ah. You caught me. Mirari, I wasn't sure if it would be better to wait until you were asleep or not. Nichama Springfield, if what would be better? Nichama Springfield, hey, wait. Without responding verbally, Mirari walks over to my bed and crawls on top. She then inches forward on all fours until she's right next to me, sitting with her legs at her sides. Nichama Springfield, sigh. What are you doing, Mirari? Nichama Springfield, if you want someone to sleep next to, go keep you company. Mirari, usually I would, but... Nichama Springfield, but what? Mirari, for you has been a bit, restless, ever since we went to the hot spring. Nichama Springfield, ah. Maybe to use in heat after all. Having her do it while we were bathing is one thing, but I can't see how sleeping next to her might be problematic. Nichama Springfield, so, your plan is to sleep next to me instead. Nichama Springfield, if you can't sleep without being right beside someone, you might want to give up on running away from home all by yourself. Mirari giggles at my remark. Mirari, you've got me there. Mirari, but you know, I didn't just come here to sleep. Before I can ask Mirari to elaborate, Mirari has started to worm her way under my blanket. Nichama Springfield, oh Mirari, what do you think you're doing? Mirari, sleeping. Just sleeping. Nichama Springfield, fine, whatever. Nichama Springfield, just hurry up and go to sleep. Mirari, yes tilde. I close my eyes and roll onto my side, facing away from Mirari. Unfortunately, even without looking at her, I'm unable to settle down. The sound of her breath continues to stimulate me, and I can feel her body warmth on my back, even without her touching me. There's no way I'm going to be able to sleep like this. See, calm down, Nichama Springfield. She's here to sleep, nothing more. Bear with it, and... Nichama Springfield, what? A yelp of surprise escapes from my lips as a pair of long, slender arms wrap themselves around my neck. The next moment, two soft, bulging mouths are pressed against my back, and I can feel Mirari's legs intertwining with mine. Island. Is Mirari trying to warm up? Her and you sleep pretty close together. Maybe Mirari's. Nichama Springfield, ha. As I try to rationalize Mirari's actions, one of her hands travels down to my waist. I hurriedly grab her wrist in order to prevent her from going any further. Nichama Springfield, Mirari, what are you doing? Nichama Springfield, that place is, MMPH. Mirari, ****. The second I turn to face her, Mirari presses her lips against mine. Nichama Springfield, mild. Mirari. Like so, she brings her face closer to mine, as if she's about to kiss me once more. Mirari, you know, Nichama Springfield, I've been told all about the duties expected of a wife, not just cooking and cleaning. Mirari's hand slips under my waistline. Mirari, I have no actual experience in this, but if you'll let me. Mirari kisses me once more. The moment I'm about to come to my senses, I feel my own hand move as well. I gulp as a soft moan escapes from Mirari's lips. Far too late to do me any good, I finally realize what's going on. Yes, so, you isn't the only one who's in heat. No wonder Mirari was acting so feisty in the hot spring earlier. But, even knowing that, what the hell am I supposed to do? Thinking over my internal dilemma, my hormones eventually win out. I start to help Mirari fulfill her primal urges. I have a choice whether to use my hands or mouth to help her, and choose accordingly. But in the middle of our moment of passion, Mirari begs me for something I cannot give her. And with that, Mitchum Springfield, I'm sorry, Mirari. I just can't do this to you. Not like this. Mitchum Springfield, I know that you don't really want this. You're just being driven by instinct and acting on impulse. Mitchum Springfield, I know I'm just taking advantage of that. Regretfully, Mirari begins to dress herself. She looks dejected as she stares down at herself, but doesn't protest at all. As forceful as she was acting moments ago, Mirari isn't going to try to make me do something I disagree with. Mitchum Springfield, besides. Seeing that Mirari is now fully dressed, I turn to face her. Mitchum Springfield, this isn't the kind of thing you should do on the spur of the moment with someone you barely know. Mitchum Springfield, you should save this kind of thing for someone you love. Mirari freezes. After a few seconds of silence, she tilts her head up and looks me in the eyes. Mirari, then, as long as I love the other person, it's okay. Mitchum Springfield, if the other person feels the same way about you, then yeah. Not that any guy would say no to Mirari. Mirari, ... I see. Mirari, so you don't share my feelings after all. Mitchum Springfield, Mirari shuffles off the bed and stands up. She then walks over to the doorway and stops just before passing through. Mirari, ... I'll just have to keep working hard until you do. Saying so at a volume no greater than a whisper, Mirari leaves my bedroom, closing the door behind her. Even after Mirari is gone, I stare at the door silently for a while, trying to piece together everything that has just happened. Whatever it was that just transpired, I don't think I'll ever be able to look at Mirari the same way again. Since the night I spent with Mirari, she has undergone an unexpected, but not unwelcome change. Her attentiveness has increased several-fold, and so has her attention to detail. She'd been working dutifully to earn her keep, but at the same time, she appears to be by my side every spare moment she gets. As a result, my cabin seems to be permanently filled with the smell of food, and the entire place is cleaner than it's ever been before. On the other hand, however, Mirari, Mitchum Springfield, I'm all done cleaning the kitchen. Mirari, you know what that means. Mitchum Springfield, sighs. I know. Mitchum Springfield, come here. Mirari, Hyatt. Mirari lets out a brief cry of pleasure as I pat her head. Mirari, that feels so good, Mitchum Springfield. Your hands are to die for. Mirari, I don't think I'll ever be able to leave you now. Real subtle, Mirari. Lately, Mirari has been really driving home the fact that she doesn't want to leave my cabin. Strangely, Fuyu hasn't been getting on her case as much about it either. She seems to be torn about whether to reprimand Mirari, or to go along with her selfishness. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing about all of this. Mirari, Nishima Springfield, when you finished reading, would you like to? Mirari, you know, where we left off the other night. Nishima Springfield, Nishima Springfield, Mirari, what are you suggesting exactly? Mirari, aw geez. Don't make me say it. Mirari, you know what I'm talking about, Nishima Springfield. You, the entire neighborhood knows what you're talking about. You, can't you two lovebirds keep it to yourself? Nishima Springfield, L lovebirds. Mirari, T-Way tilde. Mirari smiles, her cheeks red, as she accepts Fuyu's designation without protest. Mirari, I suppose it would be inappropriate to go any further while Fuyu is here. Mirari, very well. We'll continue this discussion later. Mirari, for the time being I'll return to cleaning. Don't neglect to reward me once I'm finished. Nishima Springfield. Nishima Springfield, yeah. Sure. Nishima Springfield, whatever you say, Mirari. Fuyu, ... gross ... Fuyu, it was bad enough when the princess was acting on her own. Now that you've started playing along, she's getting even worse. Nishima Springfield, playing along? What are you talking about? Fuyu, don't play dumb. I know exactly what's going on here. Fuyu, the princess wants to stay here with you, and you're letting her think that she can. Fuyu, you're both using each other, yet you're too dumb to realize it. Nishima Springfield, come on, Fuyu. Don't be like that. Nishima Springfield, Mirari and I are just making the best of a bad situation. Nishima Springfield, we both know that she'll be returning to her pack soon enough. Fuyu, ... human, do you actually believe what you just said? Fuyu narrows her eyes and glares at me coldly. Fuyu, the princess is serious about staying here. With you. Fuyu, her advances on you are not a joke, and I think you know this. Fuyu, you're going to have to give her your answers sooner or later, Nishima Springfield. Fuyu, if you don't, that girl will surely force your hand. With Fuyu's warning still fresh in my mind, I spend the rest of the day replaying the past few days over and over in my mind. From Mirari's increased skinship to her over-the-top attentiveness, and especially her not too subtle mentions of staying in my cabin indefinitely. All of this, in addition to Mirari's visit to my room, paints a clear picture. Fuyu was right. Mirari really does want to stay here with me. Not just as a resident of this cabin either. She seems to want more than that. But do I have what it takes to give Mirari what she wants? I turn onto my side and close my eyes as Mirari's face comes to mind. I like Mirari. I really do. I enjoy having her here, and deep inside, there's definitely a part of me which wants her to keep staying here with me. But I also know that, if I do give in to her, things will not end well. Staying here with me would mean making Mirari abandon her friends and family. She would be isolated, left only with me for company. If I truly cared about her, then could I bring myself to wish such a fate upon her? Mirari, Nishima Springfield, are you still awake? Mirari, I was hoping to speak to you before you fall asleep. Brought back to reality by Mirari's soothing voice, I sit up to face her. Nijama Springfield, I'm still awake. Nijama Springfield, what's wrong, Mirari? Is something troubling you? Mirari, yes. You could say that. Mirari, can we possibly talk outside? I nod, the unspoken understanding that fool you might be listening in such a small house. Outside, the air is cool, but not overly unpleasant. Mirari leads us to a small clearing near the house. Satisfied that we're far enough out of earshot from you, Mirari turns to me. Mirari, Nijama Springfield, I don't know if you realized this, but Mirari, these past few days, I've been dropping a number of hints about staying here. Hints, she says. Hardly. There was nothing indirect or vague about her statements at all. Suppressing the urge to retort, I let Mirari speak. Mirari, Nijama Springfield, I don't want to inconvenience you, or to pressure you into making the decision. Mirari, however, I don't have the leisure of waiting indefinitely while you decide my fate either. Mirari, so, I want to ask you directly, right here and now. Mirari, Nijama Springfield, will you let me stay with you, here in this cabin? I bite my lip as Mirari's watery eyes bore into my skull as I struggle to answer her. Truthfully, her question is one I don't yet have an answer to. It's a serious question, with equally serious consequences. It's something I need time to think about, lest I do something reckless or irresponsible. Be that as it may, time is not on my side. Just as Mirari stated, she can't wait forever, nor can I expect her to. Mirari requires an answer sooner rather than later. Her pack needs to know if she will lead it, and Mirari must begin to plan the next stage of her life accordingly. Unfortunately for Mirari, however, if I'm being forced to reach the decision right this second, then it won't be the one she wants to hear. Nijama Springfield, ... I am sorry, Mirari, but my answer is no. Nijama Springfield, I can't let you stay here. Mirari, I see. Mirari, ... I apologize for asking such a selfish question. Mirari, it was wrong of me to attempt to force myself on you like this. With her lips quivering and her hands clenched tightly, Mirari looks down at her feet as she fights back tears. Try as she might to put on a brave face, her disappointment is clear. Mirari, I'm sorry, Nijama Springfield. I'm so sorry. Mirari, I've been nothing but a burden to you this entire time. And now that it's time to go, I'm trying to take advantage of your kindness once more. Mirari, I am a truly detestable person. Nijama Springfield, you're wrong. That isn't it at all. I grab Mirari's shoulders firmly and force her to look into my eyes. Nijama Springfield, Mirari, you haven't been a burden. Nijama Springfield, in fact, it's been a pleasure to have you here. Any human would be lucky to take you in. Nijama Springfield, it's just, I'm doing this for your own good. Nijama Springfield, I know about your situation back home, and why you want to leave. But that's exactly why I can't take you in. Nijama Springfield, Mirari, you can't stay here with me like this. Nijama Springfield, you need to return to your pack, before you've lost them forever. Mirari, but you said that you're out here to be free, to get away from your family that expected so much of you. Nijama Springfield, I know, and I'm sorry. In reality our situations are not the same. Mirari. Nishama Springfield, you have actually lived counting on you, while I gave up when things got too difficult. Nishama Springfield, I ran away before I even tried to take over the company. Now I'll never know if it would have been too much for me or not. Nishama Springfield, there were people counting on me but I let down. Nishama Springfield, I'm not out here because of freedom, I'm out here because I ran away. Nishama Springfield, and I don't want you to make that same mistake. Mirari. You are too kind, Nishama Springfield. Mirari, even now, when I'm troubling you so, you're still trying to spare my feelings. Mirari, but you don't need to pretend anymore. Mirari, if you simply tell me that you dislike me, or do not want me around you anymore, I will leave without a fight. Nishama Springfield, Aggies. Nishama Springfield, fine. Have it your way. Nishama Springfield, if words won't get through to you, then maybe actions will. Mirari. Nishama Springfield, what are you? Mirari. MMPH. Before Mirari can protest, I grab her shoulders and press my lips against hers. Forcefully, yet not so hard as to hurt her, I kiss Mirari, causing her eyes to open wide in surprise. Despite her shock, Mirari does not push me away. Mirari. AA. Mirari. Nishama Springfield. I try to pull away from Mirari, but the moment I do, she takes hold of my forearms. Her surprise has turned into lust, and she isn't prepared to let me go so quickly. Mirari. Nishama Springfield, does this mean? Nishama Springfield, yeah. Nishama Springfield, I like you, Mirari, more than anyone I've known in a very long time. Nishama Springfield, before I met you, I thought I was destined to live the rest of my life out here in solitude, far away from everyone and everything. Nishama Springfield, but being here with you, Mirari, you've reminded me of the good that comes from being with other people. Nishama Springfield, I wasn't just trying to make you feel better earlier, Mirari. I really have enjoyed your company, and I would be overjoyed to have you here with me from now on. Nishama Springfield, but that's also why I have to let you go. Mirari's joyful smile turns into one of sadness in a heartbeat. No matter how many nice words I pile up, the end result is still that Mirari must go. Mirari. Why? Mirari, I don't understand. Mirari, if you care about me too, then why can't I stay here? Mirari, why can't we be together? Mirari, why? I don't answer. Instead, I lower my head next to Mirari and kiss her cheek as she quietly sobs. Mirari, why do things have to be this way? Mirari, all I want is to stay here with you, just as I have been until now. Mirari, why won't you let me? Once again, I kiss Mirari's cheek while I avoid making eye contact. Even without looking at her, I can't tell that she's crying. Every convulsion of her body is transmitted to me clearly. Mirari, I wish... sniff I wish I was born human. Mirari, then I would be free to choose my own life, without worrying about the pack, or about doing what's best for everyone. Mirari, but more than that, if I were human, then maybe I could have been together with you after all. A few days pass by after my tearful nighttime discussion. Given time to process what was said, both girls gradually return to their usual selves, and we go back to how we were before our trip to the hot spring. Aside from the occasional sidelong glance, we've returned to our previous dynamic without incident. To you, come on, princess. What's taking so long? To you, just pick the movie and put it in. Mirari, I need another minute. Mirari, I've narrowed my choice down to 2 tapes, but I'm having a hard time deciding on one. To you, so watch one tonight and one tomorrow. It's not a big deal. Mirari, yeah, but you. Mirari, Nichama Springfield, can we watch both of these tonight? Nichama Springfield, no. You pick one. You picks one. That's what we agreed on. Mirari, no fair. Mirari sulks as she goes back to deciding which movie she wants to watch tonight. Sheesh. Mirari's acting more and more human by the day. I was right to worry about the negative impact of having the girls stay here. They seem to be getting just a little bit too used to human culture. At the rate things are going, they really won't be able to reintegrate back into their pack. I leave the girls alone and walk into the kitchen. I then turn on the radio to listen for any changes in the weather, and any plans to have the paths cleared. I enjoy having those two here, but we really do need to get them home sooner rather than later. The longer they stay, the more difficult it's going to be on all of us when they inevitably leave. After listening to the radio for a short while, I turn it back off. With a smile on my lips, I return to the living room. So well. No use worrying about it while the paths are still blocked. Once a clear route back to the girls' den has surfaced, then we'll talk. Mirari, Nichama Springfield. I've reached the decision. Nichama Springfield, ... you have. About returning home. Mirari, Mirari, tonight, we'll watch the rest of the Gracelands documentary. Then tomorrow, we'll watch this movie about the Man of Iron. Nichama Springfield, you were talking about what we'll be watching. Nichama Springfield, alright, sounds good to me. Though I didn't pick you for a fan of superheroes. Mirari, superheroes. Nichama Springfield, yeah, that second movie you picked. Nichama Springfield, it's about a person with a suit of high-tech armor who goes around fighting bad guys. Mirari, oh, is that what it's about? Mirari, I thought it was an educational film about blacksmiths. Why would I even have something like that? Mirari, HRM. In that case, I'll pick something else. Mirari, I'm not fond of violence. Nichama Springfield, alright, you go do. Asterisk crunch asterisk. Nichama Springfield, ... I look down at my feet as I hear the crunching sound from below. When I raise my foot, I notice numerous crumbs of food on the rug. Nichama Springfield, ... Mirari, I thought you'd already cleaned the living room today. Mirari, HMM. Mirari, oh, yes. The food scraps on the floor. Mirari, my apologies. I haven't yet started to sweep those up. Nichama Springfield, sweep them up. Mirari, yes. I will start shortly, right after I have picked another movie. Nichama Springfield, no. You don't need to sweep anything up. With a rug it will be too difficult. Nishama Springfield, haven't you ever heard of a vacuum cleaner? Mirari, vacuum cleaner. Nishama Springfield, sigh. Never mind. It'll be quicker to just show you how it works. I head into the storeroom and find the vacuum cleaner tucked away in the back corner. After making sure it's fully charged, I self-voicing disabled.
I feel a little bad about deserting the girls, but
Self-voicing enabled. Nishama Springfield, oh, Mirari. There you are. Nishama Springfield, what's up? Mirari, I just wanted to speak to you about something. Mirari, I looked past Mirari and over to the other wolf girls. You and the injured wolf girl are both busy looking over the map I lent them, and appear to be completely absorbed in what they're doing. Nishama Springfield, we could probably just talk about it here. Those two seem to be pretty distracted. Mirari, yes, I suppose you're right. Mirari, even so. Mirari looks down at her feet in dejection. Whatever she wants to talk to me about, it seems like it really isn't something she's comfortable talking about in front of others. Nishama Springfield, alright. Nishama Springfield, why don't we go into my room and talk in there? Mirari, can we? Mirari, I mean, only if it isn't too much trouble. Nishama Springfield, it's no trouble. Just let me. To you, hey, Nishama Springfield, can I borrow you for a second? Nishama Springfield, hold on a minute. Nishama Springfield, can this wait? To you, Mirari and I were just about to. Wolf girl, did you ask about the rope? To you, give me a minute, would you? That's what I'm asking about. To you, so, Nishama Springfield, we were just thinking about traps we could set up, and it seems like you intercepts me the moment I'm about to leave the room with Mirari. Seeing this, Mirari breathes a small sigh, then tugs on my shirt. Mirari, I'll be waiting. For you. So, anyway, about those traps. After supplying Fuyue with the information and materials she needs, I begin my trek outside. Even though it's snowing a bit, it doesn't take long before I spot Mirari's footsteps in the snow, leading a short ways from the house. Standing at the edge of the forest is Mirari, who seems to be off in her own little world. Nichama Springfield, Mirari. Mirari, Hyatt. Mirari, oh. Nichama Springfield. Mirari, I didn't hear you approaching. Nichama Springfield, so, what was it that you wanted to talk to me about? Nichama Springfield, it must be pretty serious if you don't want to talk about it in front of your own pack. Mirari, it is precisely because they are my pack that I do not wish for them to hear this. Nichama Springfield, HMM. Mirari, Nichama Springfield, I've given this a lot of thought, especially after hearing of my mother's fate. Mirari, the truth is, I don't think I have what it takes to be the pack leader. Mirari, at least, not on my own. Mirari, who was concentrating on her feet a moment ago, looks me dead in the eye. Mirari, Nichama Springfield, I want you to join my pack. Nichama Springfield, her. Nichama Springfield, you want me, the human, to join a pack of half-wolves? Mirari, I do. Nichama Springfield, you're kidding me. I try to laugh off Mirari's comment. However, Mirari shows no amusement on her face, nor does she appear to be joking. Nichama Springfield, you really want me to join you? Mirari, that's right. Nichama Springfield, why? Nichama Springfield, I'm a human. I don't belong in your pack. Nichama Springfield, besides, even if you and Fuyue have warmed up to me, the rest of your pack won't accept me so easily. Mirari, once I become the pack leader, it won't matter what they think of you. Mirari, nobody would dare to speak ill of the pack leader's mate. Nichama Springfield, the pack leaders. What? Mirari, ha. Mirari quickly covers her mouth with her hands as her face turns bright red. Mirari, then no, that is. Mirari, as a male I personally chose and brought into the pack, it would only be natural for people to, why you know. Mirari begins to squirm as she casts her eyes towards her feet once more. Still red in the face, Mirari looks up at me with upturned eyes. Mirari, would that really be so bad? Mirari, you said last time that it's okay as long as there's love, and I really do. Mirari's voice becomes barely audible as she forces herself to continue speaking. Mirari, anyway, that's what I've been thinking. Self-voicing disabled.
So please, Nichama Springfield, take your time and think about what Eilif said. Suddenly, full of life once more, Mirari exits in a hurry.
Self-voicing enabled. Covering her face with her hands, she runs towards the cabin, quickly disappearing from my sight. As she runs off, all I can do is sit there, shocked, unable to fully comprehend what has just happened. I must have heard Mirari wrong. There's no way that what she said just now was what she honestly feels. I mean, if I were to take everything Mirari said just now at face value, and took her words literally, then the logical conclusion would be that she loves me. As the morning sun rises, the inhabitants of my cabin all wake up bright and early. Following the breakfast, some last-minute planning, and a few concerned comments from the only human present, we all meet in the living room one more time. Wolf girl, I don't mean to rush you, princess, but if you are planning to lay traps before the confrontation, you'd best hurry. Wolf girl, time is of the essence. Your opponent will not wait for you to gather your wits. Mirari, yes. I know. Mirari, we will leave momentarily. Mirari, to you, are you prepared to leave? To you, yes, princess. I am ready whenever you are. Mirari, excellent. In that case, we will not dally any longer. Smiling resolutely, Mirari turns to face me. Mirari, Nijama Springfield. Nijama Springfield, yes, Mirari. Mirari, while it pains me to leave you like this, I promise that our parting will not be for long. Mirari, the kindness you have shown me until now shall not be forgotten, nor will I ever regret the time we have spent together. Mirari, as soon as I am able, I shall come back here to see you. Nijama Springfield, of course. You're welcome anytime. Nijama Springfield, the same goes for you, to you. Don't be a stranger. To you, HMPH. I suppose I might be able to make time for such an outing. To you, though only as the princess's escort, of course. If she doesn't want to come back here, then neither do I. Nijama Springfield, yes, yes. I understand. Mirari, well then, if nothing more needs to be said, I believe it is time for us to head off. Mirari, we will be back as soon as we are able. However, should the worst happen. Nijama Springfield, don't finish that sentence. Nijama Springfield, you're both going to be fine. In fact, I'm sure you'll be back here hairstring me in no time. Mirari, ... I do hope so. Bowing her head respectfully, Mirari turns around with a smile on her face. To you, carrying some supplies I lent the girls, mimics Mirari's action, then follows straight after her. Mirari opens the door, ushering Fuyu out first, then follows her out into the snow. A moment later, the door is shut. And all at once, silence consumes the cabin once more. Left in the company of the injured wolf girl, I find myself pacing restlessly around the cabin as time slowly passes by. Watching the clock, waiting for something to happen, praying that the girls will be okay. I can't bring myself to relax, or to focus on anything unrelated to the wolf girl's plight. All I can do is curse my own inactivity as I worry about my former guests. Damn it. Why am I getting so worked up over this? The girls are going to be fine. They've been planning their attack carefully, and the traitor has no idea that they're coming for him. They have my mad, some crude traps that they made, and probably even the support of those who followed Mirari's parents. This should all be a walk in the park. So why do I? Wolf girl, oh, for goodness sake. Just go already. I almost jumped in surprise as my remaining guest suddenly piped up. Nijama Springfield, excuse me. Wolf girl, you heard me. Wolf girl, you've been pacing around with that worried look on your face ever since those two left. Wolf girl, if you're just going to spend the entire time worrying about them, why don't you chase after them? Wolf girl, they should still be setting up, assuming they've even arrived yet. If you hurry, you should be able to catch up to them. I shake my head and sigh. Nichama Springfield, I can't do that. Nichama Springfield, this is a half-wolf matter. A human like me shouldn't get involved. Wolf girl, oh, please. It's a little late to be saying that now. Wolf girl, you're already involved, whether you like it or not. The injured wolf girl sits up on the couch and looks directly into my eyes. Wolf girl, I don't know what's gone on between the three of you in this cabin, but the smell of pheromones coming from those girls is overwhelming. Wolf girl, even if they won't admit it, I'm sure that at least one of them has their eyes set on you. Wolf girl, as soon as you take one of them as your mate, you'll be part of our pack anyway. My eyes open wide as the wolf girl's words begin to register. Despite my insistence that I'm unrelated to this pack business, and that I should keep my nose out of their affairs, it seems the girls do not feel the same way. Take one of them as my mate. It couldn't be, could it? Mirari's offer, and her calling me the pack leader's mate. No way. Wolf girl, it looks like you already know what I'm talking about. Wolf girl, why not end your suffering and go after them? I'm sure they'll be happy to see you. Wolf girl, besides... The wolf girl's eyes suddenly narrow. Wolf girl, they're going to need all the help they can get. Nichama Springfield, they... What? Nichama Springfield, what do you mean by that? Wolf girl, exactly what I said. Wolf girl, we made all of the preparations we could in a short amount of time, but I doubt that it'll be enough. Wolf girl, if it comes down to a direct confrontation between those two and the traitor, they will without a doubt be slaughtered. Nichama Springfield, slaughtered. Nichama Springfield, then no, but Mirari's the rightful heir, isn't she? Nichama Springfield, surely he'll give up, or the other members of the pack will help them. Wolf girl, I wouldn't count on that. Wolf girl, the second he sees the princess, he will kill her, no matter who is around to witness such an act. Wolf girl, our pack responds to strength above all else. If the princess cannot defeat a potential usurper, then she will not be accepted anyway. Nichama Springfield, no way. I thought facing that guy was a last resort, not a necessity. Nichama Springfield, if those two have to fight him by themselves, they'll be... Without another moment of thought, I run towards the storeroom and grab my axe. In response to my sudden action, the injured wolf girl smiles at me sincerely for the first time. Wolf girl, best of luck, human. Wolf girl, go and protect your mate, no matter what hardship lies in your wake. Without sparing a moment to respond to the girl's words, I nod absent-mindedly and rush out of the living room. Self-voicing disabled.
Please, that's enough. The princess is right.
Self-voicing enabled. To you, Nishama Springfield, lower your weapon. The pack will take care of the rest. Turning to face the girls, I regrettably dropped my weapon. Even if I wanted to finish our opponent off, the truth is, I don't have the strength. Mirari, Nishama Springfield, I'm so relieved. Mirari, when you were pinned on the ground, I was so scared that I thought my heart would leap out of my chest. Mirari, why did you put yourself in harm's way like that? Mirari speaks with rare anger in her voice. It seems that, despite being touched, she's also angry at me for risking my life. Be it the loss of blood, my overwhelming exhaustion, or a rare chink in the wall around my heart, I respond thusly. Nishama Springfield, how could I not come when my mate was in danger? Mirari, your mate. Mirari, what I said before. Do you mean? I chuckled at Mirari's reaction. Nishama Springfield, you're the one who said it first, Mirari. Nishama Springfield, don't tell me you've changed your mind. Mirari, no, of course not. Mirari, I could never change my mind about that. Not in a million years. Mirari, but, are you sure? Nishama Springfield, yeah. I said a lot of stuff about that. Nishama Springfield, but you know, the way I see it. All I have to do is join your pack, and then everything will be fine, right? Mirari, gasp. Mirari, Nishama Springfield, do you really mean that? I nod. Nishama Springfield, I don't know what it's like to live with a pack of half-wolves, or what kind of challenges will await me. Nishama Springfield, all I know is, the time I've spent with you have been the best of my life. Nishama Springfield, if joining your pack is what it takes for those days we've shared together to continue indefinitely, then it's a price I'll gladly pay. Mirari, Nishama Springfield. Mirari's legs buckle. She buries her face in her hands, crying tears of joy as emotion and fatigue overwhelm her. Mirari, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Mirari, I've put you through so much. I've made you do so much for me. And yet, you still... Nishama Springfield, SHH. It's alright, Mirari. Enough apologizing. Nishama Springfield, you didn't force me to do anything. Everything that's happened between us was my own choice, and I'd happily do it all over again. Mirari continues to cry as I hold her in my arms. While their pack carts off the alpha male, Mirari, you and I take our leave. We slowly trudge through the snow, heading back to my cabin with clear exhaustion and relief painted all over our faces. Finally, it's over. Upon returning to the cabin, Fu wastes no time in making herself useful. She takes the gear I had been using to treat her friend and picks up where I left off, clumsily figuring out for herself how human medicine works. Before long, Fu's treatment becomes centered around her dialogue with the injured girl, rather than the actual application of medicine. She tells the injured girl of everything that happened, including the many embarrassing things that were said. Thankfully, by the time she gets to that part, I have already left the room. and so has Mirari. Nichama Springfield, so, here we are again. Nichama Springfield, I'm going to ask this once, just to make sure, but, are you really okay with this? Mirari, I appreciate your concern, Nichama Springfield, but it is unnecessary. Mirari, if I didn't want this, I wouldn't have come here the first time. Smiling gently, Mirari sits down on the edge of my bed. Despite her apparent composure, I can't see that her hands are shaking, and I don't miss the quick glances that she throws my way. Prepared or not, Mirari is still nervous. Mirari, do you remember what you said last time, Nichama Springfield? Mirari, you told me that I should save myself for someone I love, and only do this with them if they love me back. Mirari, well, I'm sure it goes without saying at this point, but... Mirari, I love you, Nichama Springfield. Mirari, from the bottom of my heart, I truly do love you. Mirari fidgets, her face bright red, as she smiles and looks down at the floor. Mirari, how about you, Nichama Springfield? Mirari, do you... I mean, not to put you on the spot, but... Nichama Springfield, I love you too, Mirari. Nichama Springfield, I meant everything that I said today. About staying with you, joining your pack, and of course... Nichama Springfield, becoming your mate. Mirari. Mirari's body grows rigid as my heartfelt words reach her. It takes Mirari a few seconds to settle down, but once she does, a lengthy sigh escapes from her lips. Mirari, in that case, this time around, there's no reason to hold back. Mirari, please, make me yours, Nichama Springfield. Spurred on by our mutual confirmation, Mirari pushes me down on the bed and climbs on top of me. Wiggling her hips, she positions herself so that her crotch is resting just above mine, and her hands are pushing down on my chest so that she can remain upright. Behind her blushing cheeks and smiling lips, there's fierce determination hidden in Mirari's eyes. Nichama Springfield, go easy on me, Mirari. Mirari, I'm sorry, but I don't think that's going to be possible. I chuckled at Mirari's sudden assertiveness. With everything we've been through, Mirari is overjoyed to finally confirm our feelings for one another. Smiling, I pull her close, and gently kiss her on the lips. We spend the night together, experiencing each other's firsts. As the mate of the new pack leader, my daily life has become busier and more tiring than I previously thought possible. Mirari's pack, even after losing so many of its members, is still of a significant size. I could spend years as part of the pack and still never manage to remember everyone's name. Thankfully, to my surprise, the pack welcomes me, just as it does Mirari. Mirari, the rightful heir, and Nichama Springfield, the human who defeated the would-be usurper. Needless to say, we are the pair whom everybody has their eyes on. Despite my position by Mirari's side, there is surprisingly little expected of me.
Sorry guys, noise.
My main duty within the pack is to teach everyone, particularly the young cubs, about human society, how to watch out for traps, when to flee and when to fight, which human supplies are edible, and so on. Other than that, there are two things expected of me in the years to come. First, as the mate of the pack leader, I am expected to father and raise many children. Apparently, this is not optional. The leader's bloodline must continue, and the best way to ensure that is for them to give birth to as many children as possible. Second, whether it's before or after we have children of our own, Mirari and I are expected. To marry. Save slot. Save slot. To marry. Nishama Springfield, I've gotta say, of all the things I expected to happen to me out here, getting married was not one of them. Nishama Springfield, heck, I didn't even know half-wolves did that kind of stuff. Mirari, hee. From what you've told me about human marriages, it seems like there are quite a number of differences between those and the ones we hold. Mirari, our weddings ultimately come down to a simple pledge, to love one another until the day you both die. Nishama Springfield, yeah. Human weddings are a bit more complicated than that. Nishama Springfield, they're more about spending lots of money, taking tons of photos, and applying for tax breaks. Mirari, tax breaks? Nishama Springfield, forget it. It was just a joke. Nishama Springfield, really though, to think that you'll be leading all of these people. Mirari, will be leading all of these people. Mirari, I may be the official leader, but I will still be counting on you to assist me as much as possible. Nishama Springfield, really? I thought my only duties were to raise our kids and teach everyone about human culture. Mirari, those are important too, but that isn't all you'll be doing. Mirari, and of course, if nothing else, I won't ever let you forget about your main job. Nishama Springfield, my main job. As if waiting for me to ask that question, Mirari leans forward immediately, standing on the tips of her toes, and kisses me on the cheek. Mirari, to stay by my side, forever and ever. Nishama Springfield, that's a promise I can make. With a kiss, we make our vows.
Ya guys, tamat ya guys. Tamat. Semua udah komplit guys. Jadi ini memang digabung rute Mirari dan endingnya Mirari. Good ending. Goodbye. Sampai ketemu lagi.